Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda, and this is Gizmo. We have a fantastic show for you today.
We're going to show you tunnels. We're going to show you pickleball. We're going to show you bocce. We're going to show you bunko.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to show you the pelicans. They're back. And we're going to tell you about a Christmas miracle. You'll want to stay tuned for all those right here on...
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
I want to tell you first that tonight is the second largest meteor shower that we're going to get to see this year. It's called the Geminid shower, and it's going to be all over the United States. Go out after dark around 9 o'clock. It said look toward the northeast, and you could see up to 150 meteors per hour.
We used to love doing that back home in Indiana. We would get out on our roof, and from our laundry room, we had a laundry room upstairs, we'd go out and get up on top of the roof and lay on the roof and watch shooting stars and whatever. It was kind of fun.
Oh, with our kids from when they were really little, we'd go out there and carefully get up on the roof and lay out a blanket and then just lay down and look up at the stars and count the shooting stars. They're magical. And I'll never get too old to appreciate a shooting star, and I'm pretty sure you haven't either. So tonight, get out there, see if you can find any, and write us and let us know. And you can make a bunch of wishes. We also go in, we'd get in the pickup truck and drive out toward the country where it's dark, the darker the better, and lay down in the back of that truck and look up and count those shooting stars. It's a lot of fun. You are actually seeing today's show through the miracle of editing because we had to change our schedule to produce this show because we actually got to go to Tennessee to see our darling little granddaughter who was born on December 6th. And so she's brand new, and her name is Winnie.
Winnie Lucille.
There she is. How about some shout outs?
Oh, great.
We'll start with Karen and Luis. They sent us a package, and we opened it.
Oh, we were so excited for
It's
this.
a really cool thing. Here's what they sent us. He wood burned our picture and Gizmo into a piece of wood, and it looks pretty good, don't you think?
That's amazing. What a great artist.
So thanks to you both for that amazing gift. We saw Dave and Deborah at the Village's new resident academy. And we want to say hi to John up there in Chile, Minnesota.
Oh, chilly time.
Here's Helen and G living it up. They're from the village of Chitty Chatty. Roxy and Paul, they came here all the way from California. And they're sporting their Jerry and Linda t-shirts. We bumped into them at Brownwood.
Nice little visit. And there's Richard and his lovely family at Edna's on the Green.
You missed that one. You weren't with me. I rode the bike over there and bumped into them. Jennifer and Chad sent these beautiful flowers.
Lovely. Oh,
They're
my
from
gosh.
Kentucky, and they have a home in Spanish Springs. You might have seen them on one of our shows last year.
That's right.
Bruce and Sherry were in the Villages this week, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio.
And then we bumped into Bob and Elisa at breakfast the other day. That was fun.
I love that picture. Here's Kim visiting her friend Sherry in the Villages. We love when you send in pictures from your adventures. And here is Chris and Andrea. Remember that cat boat adventure we went on? They took the same ride. And Andrea even got to drive the boat.
Oh,
One of the great things about our vlog is we hear from people all over the world. Even in today's video, here today, we have 2 international contributors.
it's amazing.
The first one is from Nicholas, and he sent us a letter, and along with it, a newspaper article. You can see it there on your screen. He said, I thought you'd like this. It reminded me of you both. I accidentally discovered your show while I was researching floor plans for our new home. I am hooked. Love the show. Nicholas, Melbourne, Australia. The title of it is 65 Years Old is Still Young. How old is old? The World Health Organization had declared that 65 years old is still considered young. Before, based on the Friendly Societies Act of 1875 in Britain, old was defined as the age of 50.
Oh, but you know what? I'm 65, you're 66. I'm young, you're old.
She's 40 days behind me. She's almost 66. She'll be 66 here really shortly. But I do remember when I was little, a 50-year-old guy, that was old.
Right.
And we still get insults on a regular basis from readers that and viewers that are young and consider us to be ancient. 0 to 17, underage. 18 to 65, that's a big gap.
Wow.
Youth or young people. You're still a young
I'm
people.
a young people.
66 to 79, middle-aged. 80 to 99, elderly or senior. And 100 years old, long-lived elderly.
You're middle-aged.
Nicholas, thank you for that. That was funny to see that the perception changes.
I like that.
Right now, when I see somebody that's 60, I think they're young.
I do too.
Yeah. And what did we say last week? 70 is the new 50?
I think that's a good phrase.
I told you the pelicans are back. Now, last year I went out and got some still shots. I used to be a photographer. I guess you're always a
You're
photographer.
still a
If you have a camera, you're still a photographer.
Yeah.
And I love them. I love these birds. They're so graceful. And this time I took the drone and I got some drone footage. Let's watch. Really majestic birds. I love them. Linda played bunco this week.
I did.
She does
And
every week.
Was
I mean,
a
let's face it.
winner. I was a winner.
She won $28.
Yeah.
So it was a good week for
It was
you.
a good day.
Had fun. By the way, it was a dress up. They were supposed to dress up with their Christmas outfit. So all morning she's coming into me. How's this look? How's that look? What's about the... And then she said, it's too hot. I can't wear this sweater.
It was a wool vest, yes.
So I talked her into wearing it. I said, go ahead and wear it. It's the Christmas thing. You need to wear it. And you wore it. What happened?
I did. I walked in the door with my Santa hat and my little sweater, which I was so proud of. My great aunt made that for my mother, and back in the day, in like 1960s, I think. And I was the only one that was like an ugly sweater, but nowadays.
And I happened to go in just to get a little footage. So let's see what the ladies do at bunco. Hi, ladies. Can I take a picture of y'all playing bunco?
Yeah, we already did.
Is that what we're playing?
We're trying.
I see everybody's dressed up for Christmas.
I'm the only silly out here.
Wow. Close up.
Well, it's like I always told our sons, just because everyone else isn't excellent doesn't mean you can't be excellent.
Yeah, I guess.
You were looking most excellent there.
I had fun.
We told you we'd bring you a Christmas miracle today. I want to tell you about it. Twice this past week, we've been invited to functions where we were asked to bring food donations for the pantry. And so we like to gather up some goodies and take them. And, if I'm selecting them out of the cabinet, I like to give them the sauerkraut and the kale and the lima beans and
Things I like.
things like that. Asparagus, broccoli.
You don't get broccoli in a can, but yeah.
But I threw in some pork and beans and odds and ends. Well, Linda takes spam.
Yeah, I
She
did.
takes these cans of spam,
I did.
which that hurts. I know everybody.
It's about giving, Jerry. It's
I know
about
everybody
giving.
likes spam. I know, but we could have taken manwich or we could have taken chili or something. But anyway, she said the spam. So I made peace with that. And then we met a couple at the town square. We got an email saying, "Hey, we're going to be here. Can you come down?" And sometimes we do. If the schedule works out, we go down and meet people. And they had a gift for us. And they brought out the bag, and they opened it up, and they presented me from California a can of hickory smoked spam. This is literally 1 hour after we donated our spam.
I looked at Jerry and he looked at me and I said, "Oh my gosh."
And it truly was a Christmas miracle. Our first question is one that you might find odd to be appearing on our happy blog, but it's a part of life. And we got the question, so we thought it was worth answering.
And this is from Bill. What percentage of villagers who pass away have their funeral or burial in Florida?
Great question. We thought about that. And in fact, we have to think about it real hard here shortly.
Yeah.
People are either going to be cremated or they're going to be buried. They're either going to have that done here or they're going to go back to where they're from, probably. So we asked the professionals at a local, what?
Funeral arrangement
Company.
company.
The Baldwin brothers.
Yeah.
And they arrange for burials, cremations, etc. So we talked to Debbie there, and her opinion was that in the villages, 90% of the folks choose cremation. Florida has a high water table. Not that many burials, although there are a few cemeteries here, and we've seen them. So people that choose cremation can be cremated, and they can keep their ashes here, or they can ship them north to relatives,
Right.
whatever. But they found that 90% of the people have their arrangements made here. But also, she told us about a program, and we're going to cover this on a show coming up,
Yeah.
where they have a program where no matter where you are, if you're traveling on a cruise, if you're on vacation, if you move elsewhere, they can take care of your final arrangements and deal with that for you. But good question, and it's one we all have to face sooner or later. Tom and Maureen from Massachusetts wanted to talk about the closing costs of a home and attorney fees, etc. And they asked, what was the name of the attorney that we did the show with recently? That was Amy Pittman. Amy Pittman is an attorney here in the Villages, just to answer your question, Tom and Maureen. For us, she did a trust, and she does wills, trusts, and other things. So.
This is from Alice and Mike. We will be in the Villages on New Year's Eve for the first time this year, and we're wondering if the entertainment continues past the 9 o'clock in the squares at night. And that does. Right now is till 12, but I think some of the bars are staying open till 12:30 or 1.
We don't know. We don't really hit the bars.
No.
We have another question here about bars, though, don't we? To add to that, Ellen asks, I was curious that none of your questions talk about the neighborhood bars. Well, Ellen, that's because we don't go to the neighborhood bars. We don't know much about them. Is there any? Yes, there are. What time do they close? Is there music and dancing? I'm a widow of 3 years and I want to meet men in my age bracket. Maybe the Villages would be a good place to start. A lot of competition there for you, Ellen.
Well, they close at 9 o'clock, but outside the Villages, outside there's probably other bars, and I'm not sure.
I don't know many bars, but I do know City Fire has a bar.
Yeah.
And the country clubs have bars.
Yes,
And they're not open very late, though. No. But we did go to multiple country clubs where there is entertainment, so you can go there for entertainment. Mm-hmm. And in fact, we liked Orange Blossom.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And we'd go up there, and there was quite a collection of local residents out there on the prowl.
And they were dancing.
They were dancing, and some of the guys, man, they had their leisure suits on. They were out there dancing too. But you got to remember, Ellen, there's going to be a lot of competition. You're going to have to put on your A game when you come out there. And there's like, we've heard 4 women to every man. I don't know if that's true. Ellen sounds like a character. My birthday's in August, and my kids are pushing me to tell them where I want to go so they can make arrangements for me. Would the Villages be a good place to party for an 80-year-old? We all love to dance and have a few cocktails. What area would be the best? Ellen, I have no idea where the 80-year-olds hang out and party. If you do find out, let me know and I'll go there and shoot some footage. I think that would be pretty good.
But you're going to see all ages at the squares. You will see some 80-year-olds there. Sure.
Sylvia has a few questions. Her first one is, what's it like driving in the tunnels in the Villages? I filmed a couple for you, Sylvia. And she wants to know if the newer tunnels are easier to navigate. And I would say yes, they are, because they tend to have more headroom.
Right.
And of course, they're brand new. That we've actually transported our kayak on top of our golf cart and been able to drive through the tunnels here.
You have to stay in the middle.
On some of them up around us, you have to stay near the middle of the tunnel. So hopefully you don't take any oncoming traffic. But it will clear. But up near Spanish Springs, there's some.
Tight.
When I ride my bike, I mean, I go through the tunnels like this, like that, because there's no headroom. But the new tunnels are nice down there in the southern section. They are nice. Visibility is very good. She asks, can I share any experiences that I've had while driving through tunnels? Well, the only one I can think of, Sylvia, is that every time I drive through a tunnel, this girl that rides with me likes to honk the horn and go, yo-hoo, and stuff.
Yoo-hoo! That's my favorite.
Sandy and Barry wonder if prices increase dramatically, actually they said substantially,
Yes.
during snowbird season. In the Villages, I do not think it does. I think the prices are high all the time.
Well, there is one instance. We did go to a burger place that did have burgers on sale for like $5 for a nice, juicy, wonderful burger. And during summer, and then when the snowbirds hit, then the prices have gone up, and that sale is not on anymore, right?
Yeah, they offered a $5 burger at Square One,
Yes.
and they stopped doing it because they said we don't need to. You know, they were full all the time.
Yeah.
But that was something that went up, but I don't think that's a raise. I think it just went back to the normal price.
Maybe. Yeah.
But things that typically are a little higher here because you're in a bubble,
Yeah.
and they can. That's why. But not dramatically higher. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about expenses, and we're coming up with that in a video real soon. Sandy and Barry also want to know how much golf cart insurance costs. Well, it depends. Mm-hmm. It depends whether you have your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance all bundled together with your golf cart.
Yeah.
And what kind of insurance do you want? Do you want liability only, or do you want full insurance? If you have full insurance, that means if you hit somebody else, it's going to cover their damage, plus fix your own cart. We don't have that. Mm-mm. Our carts are a 2016 and a 2017, so they're 4 and 5 years old, and we have liability because we want to be able to take care of anybody we damage. And I guess we figure if we're dumb enough to have a wreck that's our fault, we'll take care of it, right? But how much does it cost? That's all you really care about, right? We pay $75 a year for that limited coverage. We know people that pay twice that much.
And that's for 2.
For full coverage. Yeah. What kind of things do you and Linda do at night? This is still Sandy and Barry again. What kind of things do you and Linda do at night besides the shows?
Well, we watch some TV. Besides the shows, I do genealogy. I work on that a little bit. I like to play Candy Crush. We read a little.
Oh, we'll see friends. We'll go out. We'll go for an evening golf cart rides. We'll go to the country club, or sometimes we'll play trivia or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
we play board games.
play board games,
What are the two we do?
sequence,
Sequence
and Mexican train.
Mexican Train.
You know, we'll play those kind of things. Well, that's what we do at night. Chuck writes about Medicare. He said it's eye-opening what Medicare costs compared to what I thought it would. Same for us.
Yeah.
We did not expect that. In my mind, in my
Yeah.
naive mind, I thought that Medicare was free when you got to be 65. It's not. So how much does it cost? And again, depends what state you're in, depends what plan you select. But we're going to tell you what we pay. We're happy to share that. First of all, based on a normal person's income and not a rich person, I don't know what the cutoff line is, but it's about $144 a month is taken out of everyone's Social Security to pay for Medicare Part A and B. Then you'll have to pay quite a lot if you got into a serious medical situation, unless you have additional coverage. We chose to get additional coverage, a supplement. And there's a whole mess of them you can choose from. Or you could choose an Advantage plan. We got a supplement. So our supplement is called Plan G. That covers just about everything. It's a Cadillac, if you ask me.
I like it.
Any provider, and you have no copays. And you have no out-of-pocket other than the first $203 per year. So if you pay your premiums and you pay that deductible of
144.
the deductible of $203 once a year, then everything else is covered. You still have to pay that $144 every month,
Right.
and you have to pay for the cost of the Plan G. My Plan G costs $166 a month. Hers is a little less. So $166, $144, $310 a month for Medicare. But that doesn't get you any drugs.
Yeah.
If you want a drug plan, you have to buy that. And they're not as much as I thought they'd be. Now, if you were on some
Expensive medicine.
some expensive medications, you'd have to get a higher price plan. But our drug plan costs about $15 a month, and it covers everything that we take. So for me, $325 a month. For her, just a tiny bit less. So that's what we spend. We're spending $650 a month on Medicare that we didn't know we'd have to spend. Patrick has heard about homes being abandoned in the villages, and I saw these stories too. Have you seen them?
Not too many.
Well, when people die without relatives sometimes, or with relatives far away, the house just sits.
Yeah.
No one takes care of it. No one mows the grass. No one pays the bills. The electric gets shut off. The gas may get shut off. The water is turned off. The weeds are growing. There's no irrigation going on. It happens. And they ask what happens. Well, that can make the whole neighborhood upset. And there's one case just like that up north right now. And it's still to be determined what happens, but eventually that property will have to be taken over by somebody. And we don't know how or when, but we'll try to dig out the facts and let you know. But that is the situation, especially for somebody without heirs.
Yeah, that's a shame.
She was going like that. She was going like that.
Carol and David ask, how many dogs can you have? And that's 2.
You know, again, it's a question that's probably not enforced. We've heard 2 pets. We know of people with 3. We've heard that you can move here with 3. When one dies, you can't replace it. Again, we've said this before, we don't think there is an animal police that goes around to count your animals. And we do understand that pets mean domestic pets like cats and dogs. You know, last week we had the question about the pot-bellied pig. This week I had a question about birds. Somebody wrote in and asked, can you have a bird? He said he has got a parrot that he's had for 38 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's a real
Yeah.
pet, and he's attached, so I'm quite sure you could bring that pet. We saw a parrot, remember that?
Yeah, we did.
We're driving, and we're up on, I think we're on Canal, and there's a guy laying down reading a book on the side of the road. He's laying up against a bush just reading a book, and he's got a parrot on his shoulder.
That was just crazy to see.
I know. Time that we dread every week.
Oh, we do.
Our final question. Eddie writes and asks, is pickleball easy to play? I have to admit, Eddie, we have not mastered pickleball yet. We went to pickleball 100 and 101, so we learned to play, and we went out and we did play. We haven't done it. We want to. I will say this, Eddie, the hardest part about playing pickleball, I think, would be finding a time and place to play. Like the water volleyball that I wanted to play and tried to, they have organized groups that are already together. And to come in, you know, you're barging in on something, you have to go to an open time and try to find some understanding people that'll let a beginner come in. That's not easy to do sometimes. And we have heard of, in fact, we talked to a couple the other night that played pickleball that said they played with a group that got a little bit irritated with them because they weren't good enough.
Oh, dear.
And that's something you can run into here quite easily in the villages. These people take their pickleball and their water volleyball seriously, and if you're not up to what they think their standards are, you probably won't be welcome. So you got to find a group that you fit in with.
You're right.
Just inquire when the beginning groups are, and then go and learn the fundamentals, and then try to slide into one of those groups, and let us know how that works out for you. Here's some footage I took of a group of pickleballers in action. I'm liking my new drone.
It's a lot of fun, and I tell you, you're pretty good at it.
Well, by that she means I haven't destroyed it yet.
I'm amazed. It's been you've had it.
I've had it for a week and a half.
Oh, it's been maybe a little longer, but I thought surely the second day you'd have.
I did wreck it once, but I flew it into a palm tree. This drone, it fell, and before it hit the ground, the blade started again. It was fine. It never hit the ground.
Magic.
Oh, I'm so happy. As usual, he's been a good boy, haven't you? Do you feel like participating this week? Do you feel like helping us out?
He's pretty attentive today.
Let's see what Gizmo has for us.
Terry and Sandy from up in Chicago sent me a joke. They said, what disease does Santa suffer from because he keeps getting stuck in the chimneys? It's claustrophobia. Claustrophobia. Sometimes I do things that aren't good for me. Like, you remember when Dad ate that hot tamale and his crown came off his tooth and he had to go have a new one put on, and it was painful and it cost him a lot of money. And another time I ate a grape and Dad had to pour hydrogen peroxide down my throat until I threw that grape up, and that was horrible. And another time I ate some chocolate and they had to do the same thing because they said it's poison. But you know what the crazy thing is? If you lay a grape down in front of me, or you lay a piece of chocolate down, I'm gonna eat it again. Just like you guys would probably.
Good job, Gizzy. Way to go, buddy. That's going to do it for this week's edition of
Mailbag Monday.
Keep those questions coming in. We really appreciate those. Send them to villagesnewcomers@gmail.com, and we will get those on for you as soon as we can. We're so glad you could come along with us today. Be sure and tune in on Thursday. We hope to have a show, we're still working on it, from Greg Pangian and his Villages build. From start to finish, he took pictures every day, and we've been able to document it, and it's an amazing show. If you're interested in ever building in the Villages, or really anywhere for that matter, you'll want to be sure and catch that one.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and that subscribe button. Until next time.
See you when you get here.